Well, wouldn't you look at that? Sony is actually trying to compete with Xbox Game Pass. They just announced some awesome partnerships with Ubisoft, brought new games into their service, and also put a bunch of Sony first party games right there in their subscription services. Sounding familiar, right? Yeah, let's get right into this competitor to the Xbox Game Pass service, which, if I'm going to be honest, is a lot better than most people think. But does it stand up to what Xbox provides? Let's get right into all of this because there's a lot to talk about. Alright, so you know the drill. If you like the content, hit that subscribe button and that like button. And if you want to be notified on future content, hit that bell icon. And if you want to go that extra mile to support the channel, hit that join button. So, do you remember all the fanboys yelling from the rooftops saying they won't go on Game Pass because they want to support the developers? Or that the first-party games being in the service is going to be lower quality compared to Sony's, and that putting games in your service day and date is a bad thing? Even though Xbox has delayed multiple games so they can release them in a complete manner, yeah, wouldn't you know it, Sony announced a pretty massive addition to their PlayStation Plus subscription that I have to admit is a pretty big step in the right direction. In fact, there's a lot to talk about, so let's just get right into what Sony is saying directly. It's almost here. Our new PlayStation Plus service is launching soon, and we are pleased to share with you an early look at some of the games that will be included during the launch time frame. As we announced in March, there will be 3 benefit plans to choose from, all with exciting games to play. We're focused on adding high-quality titles into the PlayStation Plus service for players to enjoy. I'm pleased to share a selection of the content that will be available for PlayStation Plus Extra, Premium/Deluxe plans. PlayStation.com will be updated with the game list when it launches in your region. As you can see right here, they have a bunch of awesome games coming directly to the PlayStation Plus studios. Something, funny enough, they focus on completely. If you can see, they have PlayStation 5's Demon's Souls, Days Gone, Marvel's Spider-Man, and Miles Morales even have Returnal on there. Not to mention the entire Uncharted series from start to finish. That's a lot of stuff and a lot of games that we can talk about. And that's what the focus of this looks like. It looks like they're really honing in on what their first party can provide this service. Isn't that kind of funny that they said they wouldn't put their games in here because it will lower the quality? Now I know this isn't the same thing as Xbox because they're not putting it in there day and date. But overall, the main majority of this attraction for the subscription service is their first-party games. They have a bunch of them in there, and I have to admit, a lot of them are very good games. The Spider-Man games are just top-notch, some of the best superhero games next to Batman, and I think everyone should check it out. Days Gone, while still not that great of a game, was high-quality, AAA game that needed a lot of work, but hey, over the last couple of years that they patched it, it turned into a complete game. And then we have Demon's Souls, which launched with the PlayStation 5 and is a massive AAA game that a lot of people should check out. There's a lot of stuff here, and I have to admit, it's pretty enticing for people that haven't played them or somebody joining the PlayStation service or just getting their PlayStation 5 for the first time. But now it's nothing without third-party partnerships, something they focused on again in this subscription service. Here's what they had to say with a bunch of Ubisoft games. We have Ashen, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Batman Arkham Knight, they have Control, Far Cry 3 and 4, Final Fantasy, they have For Honor, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, NBA 2K 2022, Red Dead Redemption 2, Resident Evil, and a bunch of other games like The Division from Ubisoft. So while some of these games are pretty old, I must admit, it's still a pretty great lineup if you ask me. Valhalla is an older game, but the newest Assassin's Creed game. Batman is solid, there's a bunch of Ubisoft games, and overall, it's not that bad of pickings. So I have to say, for a second tier in their subscription service, surprisingly enough, the first party output from PlayStation is what stands out the most. It's funny how that works, isn't it? Your first party original content is what should stand out, something that Disney Plus does, Netflix does, and what Game Pass does. Their first party games stand out. So when we see something like Starfield or Redfall get delayed, it hurts the subscription service no matter what anybody says. But now let's talk about some other things that truly did surprise me, and I'm happy that it's happening, which is their back compat and their secondary games. PlayStation Plus Premium Deluxe members will have a selection of popular classic games to play, with some titles that will show improved frame rates and higher quality resolution compared to their original launch versions. For select original PlayStation and PSP classic games, members will also enjoy a new user interface with menus that allow you to save your game at any time or even rewind the game if you want a do-over. Also, players who have previously purchased the digital version of select games from the original PlayStation and PSP generation will have to make a separate purchase or sign up to PlayStation Plus to play these titles on PS4 or PS5. When these titles are released for PS4 and PS5, players can head to the PlayStation Store and download a version for the consoles at no extra cost if they already own the digital version of the title. Some of the titles will also be available for individual purchase. So the one thing that's a little bit of a downfall is some of the titles will be available for you to purchase. Overall though, I have to say, another step in the right direction and not charging people to play the games they already own. This is something that I've talked about extensively that Xbox does extremely well, and they're still the leader in this. If you bought a game that's digital version, not only do you get sometimes free upgrades for them, but you don't have to pay for them again or even pay for a subscription to play them. I'm glad this is happening. I'm glad PlayStation saw the flaw in this and really saw all the feedback of people not being charged to play games they already own. So giving you that option to download them, play them, and maybe some of them getting improved frame rates is a good high quality stuff that I want to see that PlayStation can do. And here's the list of the games coming: Ape Escape, Hot Shots Golf, and a bunch of other small little games from PSP. Then you got Ape Escape 2, Dark Cloud, Fantavision, Hot Shots, and this one, Jak and Daxter, Jak 2, 3, X, and all those games that were coming out from the PlayStation Studios. They have a couple of third-party partners, but I want to again focus on the first-party output. This is what people want and what people want to see in their services when it comes to gaming. I mean, come on, look at the amount of first-party content put right there for people to play. Jak and Daxter and a bunch of great first-party games are there, which I feel that Jak and Daxter might be coming back from Naughty Dog. That's just a hunch, but something that I brought up in a couple of podcasts that I talked in, and I feel like that might be something that comes up. But the most important thing is you don't have to be a subscriber to enjoy some of these games, because you can buy them if you want digitally, or you can play them if you already own them digitally. Something I've said Sony needed to do for a long time, and because of that backlash from people like me and other influencers, they truly went back and reevaluated the back compat situation, which is great for consumers and great for gamers, and also great for Sony. But now let's talk about the other tier of services, which is streaming, that you can stream your games from the PS4, PS5, or even your PC. Again, the standout is PlayStation Studios. They have Demon's Souls from the PS3 era. A lot of these games are very PS3. They have Ratchet and Clank, Super Stardust, Tokyo Jungle, When Vikings Attack, Infamous 1 and 2, and Infamous Festival of Blood. They have a bunch of games in here that's great. But again, the first party games is what matter, and why some people are going to be subscribed on this server. Sure, some third party games are going to be needed like the Ubisoft games, but overall, people are going to be subscribed to the higher tiers to play first party games from Sony, something that Xbox understood completely when they started Game Pass. Now this year with Starfield and Redfall being delayed and also having no other first party games on the horizon for Xbox does seem a little vulnerable when it comes to the subscription service of Game Pass. While I love it and will continue to be a part of the service because they have so many games coming out for it that it's kind of overwhelming, Sony does have a pretty good announcement here. Does it have day and date like we all would like? No, it doesn't. But if we remember, the beginning of Game Pass wasn't that great. They had some first-party games and a bunch of third-party studios supporting them with a little bit of older games that people played. Isn't it kind of funny that PlayStation subscription service looks exactly the same? So it's not fair to compare Game Pass, which has been around for 5 years, to a service that's just getting its feet under them. And that's what PlayStation is doing. They're getting their feet right under them. They're getting the subscription service out there. They're building the infrastructure to have something like this out there, and they're flooding it with first-party titles that they have. Don't get me wrong. These PS4 first-party titles are high-quality games and some of the best in the industry, and they have them straight in there for you to subscribe to and just play them right away. That's what Xbox did in the beginning. They put games out there, first-party, some of them here and there, a little bit of older first-party games, but over time, they made it day and date several years down the line. Actually, I think it was only 1 year down the line because Sea of Thieves was the first game to do that, which kicked off very well, and they've had over 20 million people playing that game. So yeah, I think Sony is going down that path. They're building this thing out, and I have to say, it's pretty impressive. They're signing deals with big Ubisoft publishers. They're signing deals to bring third-party games there, support, and they're putting a lot of their first-party titles in there, which a lot of people didn't like. So is this the Game Pass killer? No, not yet. And no, I don't think it could get there because Sony has been very resistant of putting their games in their day and date. Over time, I think that will happen, and I think Game Pass might have a true competitor to this. And don't get me wrong, I know people are saying it's not a competitor to Game Pass because it's completely different. Yeah, well, to those people, I would say just pay attention and look at what Sony's going to do. They're going more multi-platform, they're buying a lot of studios, it's been basically acquisition season for them, and I think they're going to do that continuously and put games on PC, put games on Sony's PlayStation, and then they're going to open that subscription service to even more gamers because you can't make the subscription service lesser than your competition. You need to be on PC, you need to be in cloud, and you need to be on consoles, something that Xbox has been building for several years. That's what Sony understands. Sure, they have the first-party titles, sure, they have a couple of third-party agreements, but overall, the value isn't near, not even close to what Xbox provides with Game Pass. So they'll need to catch up with that, and I think they can do that. I truly do. They have a lot of people there, they have a lot of studios coming in, and they have a lot of studios being bought, and not to mention exclusive titles coming that can really push a subscription service to new heights. Something that Xbox needs to get down. They need to bring out first-party games, and 2023, I think, is going to be an even bigger battle than this year, especially since Sony and Xbox kind of seem to have a lackluster in first-party games. But enough of what I think about this. Let me know what you think about this. Are you going to subscribe to this service? Does it look more enticing now that they got a couple third-party games in there, like Ubisoft's games? Or do you think it's the first-party games that stand out the most, like I thought? I mean, how many more first-party games are we going to get in there? And will they ever make this day and date into the service where they put their first-party games there for everyone to play right when they release? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button to support us out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamer tag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. So right now, I've been playing a bunch of games. I've been jumping into Rocket League, I've been jumping into Apex Legends, and I beat Trek to Yomi in one sitting. That game's pretty fun. It's on Game Pass. I really recommend everybody check it out. I really just sat there for about 3 to 4 hours, played through it straight, and had a good time. It was okay. It could be a little bit better, but I enjoyed it for what it was, and plus it was on Game Pass, so that was a lot of fun. And Game Pass, again, just shows its value of me playing games that I otherwise would have never played, but I've enjoyed that. And I've been playing a bunch of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I have to admit, it's such a fun game, so I'm enjoying that. And I've been jumping into a couple of strategy games like Riftbreaker, that's on Game Pass, and Warhammer 40k Battle Sector. Everybody needs to check that game out. Again, it's on Game Pass for PC and for Xbox, so check it out there. A little turn-based XCOM style game with Warhammer 40k setting. Lots of fun. Everybody needs to check that out also. But let me know what you're playing. Are you playing something on your Xbox Series X, your PC, or are you on your PS5 playing something? And does this subscription service actually look like it's competing with Game Pass? Go down below and let me know. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.